After a brief conversation with Faraday and Cass, at which point he was demonstrating his prowess with walking between planes, Cass made the decision to forfeit his artifact to Faraday. The rest of you followed suit, with Sandara being the most hesitant, but ultimately doing it to save Solomon's life. So as we start, Faraday, Elowin, and Grix have all teleported out, and you are all just standing in the workshop. Sandara kind of on her knees next to Solinor, laying on the ground. And there's just this silence and stillness to this clockwork workshop. With that, you watch as a nearby teleportation sigil begins to glow with golden energy, as Sandara's eyes also glow with golden energy. She's activating the teleportation sigil.
Is she on it?
No.
So she's sitting behind?
She's like cradling Solinor in her hands again. So yeah, you get the sense that her primary goal right now is tending to him.
I look at Cass.
Back to the ship, I guess.
Yeah, I guess.
Sandara, you're staying here, right?
I'll catch up with you guys later.
All right, well, good job, everybody. Good to see you alive, Solinor. I'll go stand on this.
He's like barely alive right now. In fact, you don't even know that he's conscious. Okay. You also see, I will say he does show a sign of life as you watch as he pulls out this like impossibly complex polyhedron that's glowing with this ruby red energy, and like holds it out to hand it to Sandara. And she just like holds it and kind of just stares into it. And you watch as she touches it, there's this brief like ruby red glow in her eyes for just a single second that fades. Almost as though she sees something. Okay. So you all stand on the sigil?
Yeah.
Okay. And Samugi?
Samugi joins. Is Sandara staying? Is that correct?
Yeah.
Samugi walks by Sandara and just gives her a pat on the shoulder and a brief head shake.
Yeah, as you pat her on the shoulder, she takes her hand and kind of flips it over. Makes eye contact with you. Okay.
And then Samugi joins the rest of the crew on the teleportation center.
Okay.
We'll assume Alara's coming with us.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, Alara will also be coming with you. Okay. So, with that, there's this flash of golden light, and you are back on your ship. The rest of your crew is there. Danny looks over at you all and goes, okay. And then he kind of like counts, and then he goes, is Sindara okay?
She'll be with us shortly. She
Oh,
has
okay.
things to attend to.
Good. Hey, we made it out alive, right?
Yep.
Yep.
Yep. All
Why
right.
we shouldn't we be more? This is a big day, you guys.
Things
You
didn't
could
go
say
as
that.
planned.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Did somebody get hurt, or
Nothing you need to worry about, Danny.
Yeah,
In
we're
fact,
good.
Faraday's not going to be a problem for us anymore. Really. It is a day of celebration, just not right now.
oh, nice. You know what? That's right. Knock them down. That's what I'm talking about. First gunner, now Faraday.
Well,
And you
no.
watch as Briggs kind of waddles up and just goes, "Yeah, that's what I'm saying, man. This crew of ours is just moving. I'm telling you, man. We're gonna be real famous."
I mean, maybe pump the brakes on that. 'Cause we want to keep it on the DL, you know?
Okay, well, I'm just saying, you want to get some jobs and stuff. The remnants are starting to have a name now.
Well, I mean, we should definitely think about, some cash flow influx,
Yeah. Speaking of that, I was thinking about the name. How do we feel about the Goblin King and the Remnants? You know, it's like a band. Because you guys don't really have like a charisma guy.
Actually, that's what Gaz does. He's the charisma guy.
Oh,
It was a low blow. I wasn't going to take the bait. The name's
mean-
staying.
Yeah.
no, the name stays, but think about it: Goblin King and the Remnants.
Yeah, but I don't want people to think I'm the Goblin King.
No, because I'm the Goblin King,
Well,
and I have
not
a
really.
round of explosives.
And one day, hopefully, it will go off.
See, now you're speaking my language. Anyways, and he kind of like nudges Danny on the knees, and he goes, "Let's find some food." And he turns around and starts walking towards the crew's quarters.
I turn to Samugi. So, King, eh?
Apparently, I think I have a little bit of self-discovery, we should say. Has anyone seen it's not that little fellow who was sitting on Sindara's shoulder?
No, Leopold.
Leopold.
Is
Is he with Sindara?
For this, we're gonna say he was actually left behind.
On the
So,
boat?
yeah.
They evolve.
I
They
think I'm
evolve.
gonna go consult with you.
With that, Leopold kind of flies up, and he's got like this tiny little bookcase on his back, and he's just like barely able to hover in the air. He's like, sorry, can I land on somebody?
Sure.
Okay. Can I land on
You could land
everybody
on
here?
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyone's good.
Yeah.
Anyone's
Got a
good.
lot of space.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cass is closer, so I'll just land here. That's okay. Sorry.
God, you're
Sorry.
heavier than you
Where
look.
do you go? Call my name. It's the books. So, can I have you have assistance?
Actually, I was hoping we could get together for a spot of tea, you and I. I know landing on Cass took quite a bit of effort, and strategizing there, but maybe we could move this over into my quarters. And are you a tea drinker?
Sure. I fuck with some tea.
Yeah. I'll be over in my quarters, putting a pot of tea on the stove. So come join me whenever it's convenient for you. And
Okay.
so maybe start sauntering over that way.
Kath, maybe you could walk me over.
Absolutely not.
Okay.
Somebody turns around and says, "You're welcome to catch a ride on me. It makes your transit easier."
Yeah, I mean, you catch your eye. And he hops over and lands on your shoulder. Okay, so you take Leopold into your room and for some tea time.
Yeah.
Okay. The gnome and the imp. All right.
Do I see
What are the rest of you doing?
Do I see Otto?
Yes, he is at there's like a little table, kind of overlooking the side of the boat. He is playing knifey fingers with one of the goblins.
Cool, great. Good game. Hey, Luke. I hate to bug you when you're playing knifey fingers, but I do have a request.
Okay, I'm winning 3-1.
3-1. Does he have?
He watches his hand is like completely up.
Oh, okay.
And he does appear to be missing a finger.
Missing a finger?
No,
Cool.
he's missing a finger.
Cool. I was trying to get back to see, my wife and child, but Sundar's a little busy at the moment. I was wondering if you could.
Oh, you need a magical transit, eh?
If you have the time.
There was a time where I was on the Delmiri Council.
Really?
And now I'm a taxi man.
You're more than that. You were very helpful in the battle.
Yes, I did get a good bonfire or two, I suppose.
It impressed me a lot.
Well,
I didn't want to say
I am a very...
in front of the other casters, I don't want them jealous.
Well, it's not just talent, it's also experience. So they should understand that with a couple 100 years, they could be near my level.
Of course.
I like you, Eric. You've got a good head on your shoulders.
Thank you.
If you would like to see your wife and child, I will take you. And with that, he stands up and just goes, Gibbons, it's been a pleasure. And he holds out his hand to shake his hand. And you look as the goblin holds out what is now...
Oh no.
Just a wrist. None but a wrist there.
With that, Autoluke just... did we lose...
You're back.
Audio and visual? Okay. Are you hearing what I was saying?
No.
Okay. So Autoluke and this goblin just have a less fingered handshake. And then Autoluke walks over to the teleportation sigil. As he does, dark clouds begin to gather over the ship. And his eyes glow with this blue energy. And he just gives a big sigh, and then there's this bolt of lightning that comes down, and he reaches his hand up and catches it with his fingertip as he screams in pain and goes, ah! And then takes it, and then with the other hand just begins carving out all the runes of the sigil, overlying the runes on the ship. And he just goes, the teleportation circle is ready.
I stand on the sigil.
Okay, as you do.
I flex all my muscles, afraid I'm gonna
get... As you walk towards it, it's there's this static energy, just scattering across your body. You just feel like this slight like tickle, and as you walk by, you watch as both Autoluke and Varric like gravity briefly inverts, and Varric just is like lifted up for a second, and then there's this like accelerating warbling sound as it goes, and then this like flash of blue light, and Varric is gone. I guess Autoluke would have gone with it. Yeah, Autoluke would have gone. And then with that, you just see Danny kind of like with an eyebrow raise, and like just to himself, he's just like, what is that guy's actual deal?
No one knows.
Nobody's figured it out yet.
Okay. Cass, what are you doing?
He just retires to the captain's quarters. Just does some. The rest of the group has kind of just gone off and do their own thing, so he's gonna go do some reading.
Okay. You do remember Vale is in the brig as well.
Yeah, I look outside. Is the brig like for my mind's palace? Is this like on the below deck levels, or
Yeah.
is it?
Yeah, it's
Okay.
beneath the crew quarters.
Okay, so we have to go down. Just so I know what I'm working with up here.
No, I know.
Okay, well then I'll go out of my way to make sure that someone is guarding the jail.
Who? Anybody?
Cass designated Nick, but if he's not here, at least somebody else.
Yeah, Nick is there.
All right.
If you go down and check, he's just like, hey boss, no activity. She's not looking, not talking. Offered her food and water, not eating or drinking. I think it's a psyop.
Yeah, good job. It's probably a little hard to eat, not being able to move and all.
Had a spoon and everything, and she just like acted like she was dead.
Oh.
But I can see that she's breathing. Look, if you look real close.
I'll peer in.
It's, harder to tell now, but before you could tell. See, she's holding her breath. I know you're holding your breath. Yeah.
All right, Dan.
Anyways, she's not tricky.
Do you want food? I'll be back later this evening. Do you want me to grab you anything real quick?
Oh no, you don't have to do that. Captain, you don't do that.
All right.
That's
last chance.
Thanks. No, I called up and one of the goblins brought something down, so I'm good. I'm good. Besides, I do intermittent fasting, so I do 1 meal a day. I just find you're just like a little bit more focused throughout the day. I operate better when I'm slightly hungry. Just
Hey,
feel
you're looking good. I could tell.
Oh, thanks, man.
Anyways, keep an eye out. We'll walk back upstairs.
Oh, okay. See you later. If you want to report, you can come down anytime. Okay,
I'll go to the captain's quarters without replying.
Okay.
So canonically, Jesus Christ exists and intermittent fasting.
Intermittent fasting. It's a popular diet choice.
Popular diet choice. Yeah.
So, Katz, what are you doing?
Yeah, with her, someone's still watching her. Yeah, whenever we get into the whole timey-wimey downtime stuff, Cass will do a lot more, but like for now he's just reading some of the books that Dunsparrow gave him, and taking breaks by reading Solinor's journal.
Okay. Give me an Arcana check.
Mostly I'm reading Dunsparrow's books. Like I'm not really digging for anything.
The text that Dunsparrow gave you, what was the topic of those that you would ask for?
essentially the dark arts of druidic magic.
Okay, that's right. Okay, go ahead. So that's what you're focusing on.
Yes. 13.
Okay. There a lot of these texts, and if I recall, you haven't looked through all of these.
No.
So the first thing you notice is 2 of these texts are actually written by Oswald Beaumont. He's specifically describing his time in the Serpent Lord Shrine, encountering druids of the Circle of Ruin and Thistle. And it's almost like a bit of like investigative journalism, like discovering like kind of where they get their power from, and the
There he is.
hey Eddie. Anyways, the concepts of like drawing power from decay. Specifically, there is a frequent reference to rot. And at one point, there is a basically personification of decay, as the text refers to druids starting to call out to the Queen of Decay, or the Queen of Rot.
It's being deified.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you just get the sense that there's a philosophy of like entropy, that basically human life and humanoid life has basically like desecrated something that was previously sacred, and that there needs to be an opposite and equal force to like dismantle civilization, to bring the prime material plane back to its primal roots. So with that, Eddie, are you here?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, let's turn you up too.
You guys got me okay?
Yeah.
Yep.
Cool. I'm just playing on my phone, so.
Okay. The
What did I miss?
a lot.
Okay, awesome.
So the group went to Solinor's workshop to try to save Solinor from Faraday.
Yep.
The group ended up giving all of their artifacts to Faraday.
Yeah, I saw that.
And
then he
now,
like time stopped everything, didn't he, or something?
Now we're back.
Okay.
You're back on the ship.
Okay.
The ship's actually not even traveling anywhere, and people kind of just went their separate ways. Sandara's going to join you shortly. She's tending to Solinor right now.
Okay.
And you kind of have downtime on the ship.
Is our army like disbanded now, or are we just kind of?
You guys are not in Barrowmore anymore, so you don't know what's going on back on that island.
Okay. Where is the ship that we're on?
The ship is in the sky.
Oh,
and it
okay.
is
We're just in the sky.
hovering-
Okay.
It's hovering
Okay.
like southwest and beneath Valendry, and kind of over
Okay.
Solinor shop.
Okay. Let me see here. We have not rested, correct?
Nope.
Okay. All right. So we have none of the legendary artifacts anymore either, do we?
Nope.
Okay. Shit. So what do you guys want to do now?
No one's here. Everyone went their
Oh, no
separate.
one's here. Oh,
Mhm.
everybody did. Jesus.
Eric is off ship. Cass is in his room being weird.
Okay.
So Moogie went to his room
He's
to have
reading.
tea with Leopold, the tiny imp.
Okay.
And Autolux with me too.
Yeah, and then Autoluke took Varric off the ship.
Shit. Okay.
Did you guys bring? What did you guys do with Thanya?
We
On the ship.
brought her with us, didn't we?
Yeah.
Is she in the brig as well?
I mean, I don't. Alara was tending to her last time. We never really resolved it. So.
Yes.
Yeah, I wouldn't have wanted to put her into a cell or anything. To me, she's still an ally. She's just lost.
Yeah, but
She's
she did
just
try
a
to kill
little.
him, so, like safety reasons.
Yeah.
So you
I
left
would just
her.
stay with her. I'd say I'd just stay with her. I wouldn't want to put her in the brig. I'd just stay with her.
You left to go with the group to visit Solinar.
Okay.
So where was she while that happened?
I don't know. Like, I want to trust to leave her wandering the ship because we have a crew on the ship, don't we?
Right. But she also like almost one-shot Cass. So
Yeah.
so where so this is
Yeah,
back
she
in
would have to. She would have to have been in the brig then. Like, damn it! Because here we go again. Like the first time I met her, she was in the brig. Now the second time I see her again, she's in the brig. Like,
Yep. Okay. Well then that's where Thanya is.
okay.
Is there only one jail cell?
No, you have 3 cells.
Okay.
All right. I'll go talk to Thanya to try to break the tension, if there is any with us. I know there probably is.
Okay.
I'd come into the brig or near the cell she's at and ask how she's doing.
As you walk over, you see Nick, the kind of like skinny brown-haired. I mean, this is like a kid who's on your crew.
Okay. Yeah.
He walks over and just goes, "Oh, hey, do you need something down here?"
Yeah, I came to check on Thanya.
Oh, that's the
Yeah, the large tiefling.
oh, that's what that is. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'd be very because she has been using the drinking water to make paint out of the blood-stained wood. I don't really know what she's doing. I think it might be a Saya.
Okay. I'll go take a look at her and see what she's doing.
You look. So this is the cell that that paladin that you took from the Underhorde Reformatory was in. That got brutally
Okay.
murdered, and no one ever cleaned up the blood.
Oh, right.
So you watch as Thania's like up to her knees, like kind of covered in blood,
Jesus.
as she has like used the water to like basically almost like turn it into like a paint. So it's like this very like faint red that is like
Oh.
kind of caked on her legs, and it's like her
Okay.
hands are covered, and she's almost just like trying to like drawing these like patterns on her arms with it.
Thanya?
She kind of just turns her head and looks over. What do you want?
Wanted to come and see how you're doing.
Are you gonna let me go?
I don't know. We're in the midst of dealing with other things right now. I'm here to talk to you, Thanya, and see if I can figure out what happened. Last I remember, I know that they were afraid of you, and you and me don't know each other, and I apologize for this having to be our second meeting. But I think we were all surprised to see you um in this fight. I don't think that initially the way things had parted that um they had meant it to be as foul tasting as I guess it was. Um Whatever was going on with you just kind of had them scared.
I don't know you. The others I remember. But you, I think I've only seen you once.
Yeah. I I joined your friends uh kind of randomly through
Or not.
chance, and fair enough.
What
I
is it?
was I don't actually know. I was curious to see how you got twisted up with Elhorn.
Give me a persuasion check,
Okay.
and you can use
Right.
your wisdom modifier.
Okay. Persuasion. So it'd be okay. So wisdom mod. So +5. 12 total.
Um, she says, I had a crew. We were for hire, and he was paying. What else do you want to know?
I guess I was just curious to see if that makes sense. I didn't know you had a crew. Um, how long did that take you? We've been fighting forever to try to make just a small one like we have now. Did you have your own ship?
I did.
That's impressive. What was your ship called? If you don't mind me asking.
Look, I'm not necessarily interested in small talk. Either you let me go, or just do what you came here to do.
Well, I didn't come here with any foul intentions, Tanya. I just came here to check on you. I don't know what they want to do. If it was up to me, I would say let you go, um, hoping that we didn't cross in such foul terms again. But what would I have to do to ensure that you wouldn't? If you said you were hired for money, right?
Yes.
Would it be possible to hire your crew to join us?
I don't think that would go the way that you think it would go.
Meaning, I don't mean to insult you, Tanya, but if your allegiance is to money, we have a decent amount of it we could offer you.
We didn't take. We've worked with Elhorn in the past on a couple jobs here or there.
Okay.
My master took the job to hunt you all down for free.
Who's your master?
Her eyes narrow, and he just says, you wouldn't know him.
Does he have a name? Maybe I would. We've kind of explored quite a decent amount of the territory.
His name is Mujin.
Illusion. What's his deal? Why is he after us? Do you know?
He's after the gnome.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm not gonna try to sway you a different direction. Like I said, I
Look,
honestly just came down here to check on you.
you're a good person, but frankly, I'm done talking.
I understand. If you need anything, Tanya, just let Nick know and he'll let me know, okay? And I get up and go away.
Tell Nick to let me go.
Give me a minute to go talk to the crew, okay? And I'll see what I can do.
She turns and goes back to pouring water on the wood. Okay.
Do I recognize any of the symbols that she's making, or can I like keep them in mind?
Make a history check.
Okay. History. 9.
Nope.
Oh, okay, cool. I'll just track kind of what a few of them might have looked like, and then head back. I'll head to Samugi's room.
Okay.
I'll go and knock on the door.
Well, before you do,
Yeah.
we're gonna resolve some stuff going on with Samugi.
Yep.
So,
Go,
Samugi, as you're
please.
told, what questions did you have for Leopold?
So maybe he's gonna ask, after he boiled some water and sits down with Leopold in a respectful manner and pours some tea. He's gonna start asking about the identity of King Chidong.
Oh, getting into some Hangul history. Wait, aren't you from there?
I am, but it's been such a long time since I've sat in school, and so many things have come to pass that I could use a little bit of the jogging of my memory. I'm an old gnome.
How old are you? Anyways, everybody knows King Chedong. I mean, I don't even study Hangul history, but he, king of the black sky. He united and basically created the Hangul dynasty, brought the rest of Koza to their knees. I mean, it's kind of a bit of a heroic tale, a bunch of, especially for someone like me, someone on the, vertically challenged side, a bunch of gnomes uniting and taking on, the Goliath and orc strongholds. So, yeah, does that ring a bell? Or
Of course, yeah. I mean, that's everybody knows that. But whatever came of the Hangul dynasty, and more specifically, the dynasty that King Chedong led.
well, there's many rumors, but one rumor was that the king went mad. Something about some dark dealings. Some people think that he made a deal with the devil. Others think that he was crazy the whole time. And then there are some rumors that he was actually assassinated. But his nephew is now the new king.
Do you know his nephew's name?
Yeah, his nephew's name is Mujin.
Is there anything historically recorded about Chedong's relationship with Mujin?
Just that they're Chedong is his uncle. That I would know off the top of my head. I'd have to get into some books and stuff, but there's not a whole lot of information on Mujin. Here, let me see what I can find. And he pulls out his bookcase and just like pulls out these tiny books that as he pulls them out, they just grow to like a normal size. And he's actually got 3 books that are loosely related to the Hangul dynasty. One is specifically on Koza itself, with like it's basically like a little encyclopedia. It's got like a little subsection on the Hangul dynasty. Another one is about more focused, like the history of the Hangul dynasty itself. And a final one is specifically dedicated towards recording a series, basically like a war in Koza. And it's basically just called The Fall of Koza. And that one, Leopold will describe basically details, basically a bunch of these gnomes getting together and like creating a kingdom and completely laying waste to the barbarian tribes and leaving them like scattered and decimated.
So would it be fair to say that Kozanites aren't really the biggest fan of gnomes or those from the kingdom of Hangul?
Oh, I mean, I don't think it matters. They just don't. I mean, they stay away from the gnomes. I mean, they fight with each other, and then if they see gnomes, they turn and walk the other way around.
How long ago did all this go down?
Well, the wars in the north, maybe about 70 years ago. Chedong's disappearance, maybe 15 years ago.
I won't keep you any longer.
With that, there's a knock on the door.
Come in.
Alara, so you're knocking on Smoothie's door. You hear the voice say, "Come in."
Oh, hey, Smoogie, it's just me.
Oh, Laura, we were just having a spot of tea. If you'd like to come join us.
Absolutely.
So maybe pour another cup of tea and puts it down on the table.
Thank you. Didn't mean to bother you guys, or hope I wasn't interrupting anything. I just got done talking to Thanya and see how she's doing.
Yes, I speak to her myself. You made some mentions of.
Yeah, she obviously wants to be let go, but I was curious as to what she was doing at the fight.
So he holds out his
And
turn towards Leopold and asks, Leopold, I don't mean to ask you to leave, but if you don't mind that Alar and I carry this conversation in private.
Oh, sure. Yeah, that's fine. Just get my stuff here. Got my books back.
Sure, yeah.
And takes them and puts them back real quick, and then he actually just gonna like take the thing and then he's just gonna walk out.
who is Leopold again?
He's the little lore imp that.
Oh, right. Yeah, that's in our service for a minute. Got it. Okay. Well, once he leaves, I found out she's working for someone she calls the Master. His name is, what was it again, Alex?
Mujin.
Mujin. And, seems to be after you specifically. Does that name ring a bell?
Samugi was in the middle of taking a sip of his cup of tea, and at the naming of Mujin, immediately stops and starts kind of staring off into the distance. Mujin, you say? Did she detail anything about where he is now or where he was coming from?
No. She said that she works on a crew with him, and they went under service with what's his name for free. I'm guessing that was being that your name must have popped up. However,
Yeah.
who is this Mujin?
So maybe stroking his beard and still kind of staring off into the distance. I know I've been rather vague about my own history and how I came to be here, and it wasn't to keep you guys in the dark. As a matter of fact, the truth is, it's that I was in the dark myself about where I came from and how I came to be. It seems as though I've lost my memories.
Oh,
Um, and I'm starting to piece together based on uh, bits of information I'm gathering through our journeys my true identity. And I'm afraid it's leading danger directly to our doorstep. I was just speaking to Leopold a few moments ago because on the battlefield, as we were fighting Elhorn and Vanya, who is, as you know, an Oni, I've always felt um, whatever the opposite of a kinship is with Oni, but some sort of connection. And as we were close together, sharing a moment on the battlefield, she turned towards me and told me that he was coming for me. So from what I've
oh,
gathered, I mean, obviously, we know that I come from the Hongul Kingdom. Um, as it so happens to turn out, I was royalty, not only royalty, but the king and the leader of the Hongul dynasty, King Chadong.
wow.
So from what I'm gathering, Mujin is my nephew who came to power after I think made a deal with these Oni and sort of fell off the map, and
Sure.
ended up over here. So I believe Mujin is searching for me to kill me and resume ruling the kingdom.
She was when I was in there with her, she seemed to be drawing something. She was in the cell that paladin died in. She was using the blood to. I think I have the ship well enough protected from any kind of tracking or teleportation magic. But she was drawing these symbols on the wall, right, or on herself.
That's correct.
And I'd
On her.
kind of draw out the best I could on the symbols. Do you recognize them?
No.
Okay.
I seem to recognize them, but if she's working for Mujin, my fear would be that she's still somehow in communication with him. Um, I was hoping we could rescue her as she used to be a part of our crew before
Yeah.
she became, um, I guess, possessed by the Oni spirits. I'm not sure how far gone she is or if it's a lost cause for us to try to bring her back. But it may be for the benefit and safety of our crew to either keep her away from us or to kill her.
Well, you guys know her better than I do. My vote would not be to kill her. Um, in my eyes, I think she's just a little lost and probably felt a little betrayed. She didn't seem to want to do much small talk. I tried to grab what information I could to see if I could bring her back to our side if they were just a gun for hire. Um, but it's you guys have known her longer than I do, so I will stand out for my vote. I don't think anything could get on the ship, even though there have been others that have gotten on here secretly. I've got enough power left to cast a true seeing spell on you, Smokey, if you want to go with me to see if maybe something stands out or you know what to look for. Maybe these symbols are arcane in some way. Or if this entity is on the ship.
It's a way for you to magically detect the presence of spirits on the ship.
Kind of, yeah.
That might not be such a bad idea. And I think before we make any decisions, I, of course, do not wish any harm on Thanya. I was in support of bringing her onto the ship in hopes that we could bring her back onto our side. But my worry is that Mujin she works for is an extremely powerful entity and clearly has a vendetta against me and is willing to lay down a great deal of violence to find me and to kill me and harm you as well. So I think we should definitely consult the rest of our crew, Cass, and we'll see if Sundara comes back and has some time to be with us.
Okay. Just in case anything jumps off, if this guy would get in the ship, I'd like to this lasts for 8 hours, luckily. I'm gonna cast Death Ward on myself. Like,
Okay.
just to make sure I don't drop if anything jumps off. Yeah. If you want to, Smoogie, do you want to do the scan of the ship before or after we get grouped up with everybody?
Yeah.
Sorry, I missed that. What'd you say?
We can do it now.
Okay. So I will I pull some herbs and stuff out of my bag. Crush them up and kind of rub it across your forehead, and I will cast True Seeing. From here, you lead the way.
Okay. So you cast True Seeing on Samugi. Or on yourself?
On Samugi.
On Samugi. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So Samugi, there's this like almost like this shift in your vision where everything kind of flashes with this like white filter, and then your vision slowly normalizes and it almost looks like a little out of focus for a second, and you almost feel like there's like two anytime you look, there's like two images of what you're seeing kind of superimposed on each other perfectly. And it's like you can kind of switch back and forth between which one you're seeing.
Okay. So he starts walking around the ship and in a kind of spread out fashion, but heading towards Thanya's location.
Okay. Give me a perception check.
Mm-hmm. 22.
Okay. So as you begin walking, you don't see anything moving towards the brig. as you make it over to, you're going to Thania's cell specifically.
Not to her cell because I don't really want to make contact with her until I've talked to the rest of the crew.
Okay.
But just kind of around the area.
Yeah. As you look around the area, you don't see anything abnormal.
So Mugi's gonna stealthily approach Thania in hopes that she doesn't notice him.
Okay, give me a stealth check.
$14.
14. Okay. As you kind of make your way down quietly, just kind of peeking over the corner, right as you take your last step, the wood just freaks, and you see Thania, who's like facing away. You watch as her head just kind of turns, and she doesn't even look. She just like turns back. So she knows someone's there, but she's not looking. As you look at Thania, you do see there's very clearly like you see her, and you see something clinging onto her. There is very clearly what looks like a dokebi that is just like got his arms completely wrapped around her shoulders and body, and it's like almost hiding his head behind her head. So it's actually like clinging like onto her chest. So you just see the arms wrapped around her back, and his head is like tucked under her chin.
Does Mugi have any prior knowledge about like how to rid Dokebi or exercise?
You've looked into it, and you've learned that they don't like blood, or at least they're supposed to be afraid of it. Other than that, you haven't found any like surefire way to get rid of them.
So he's gonna exit the area.
Give me a perception check.
22.
Okay. You watch as that head, as it's like wrapped around Thanya, you watch as these eyes kind of like peek up above her shoulder, looking in your direction, but not at you.
Okay. All right. Well, Smoothy's gonna carry on and wait for the rest of the crew to get back together so we can decide what to do with Anya.
Okay. With that, Varric, are you just spending time with Sarah? Is there anything you want to play out at the table?
No, I just wanted to spend some time with her, and yeah, that's it.
Yeah, very doable. Okay.
No, I would want to come back before like it's nighttime. Like I'm not
Okay.
gonna stay the night unless she
Okay.
asks me to.
Yeah, she asks you to.
Then I will.
Okay.
For sure. Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't want to impose or assume.
No, I mean the two of you have just been through like she was also at the battle, by the way.
Yeah.
So,
How does she look? Is she okay?
Yeah, she's got like a little like tiny like graze mark on her cheek, and like some bruising on like one of her shoulders. But she's um,
I would like to tell her.
yeah.
kind of overview of what happened. That we killed Elhorn. Well, I killed Elhorn, and that there's probably another clone of him. So I'll have to do it one more time, but we did all this stuff with Sonor and Faraday, and Faraday said he'd get rid of the other clones, so I just have to do it one more time. And then I will tell her that I
She just like stops you and
Yeah.
just, it's fine.
I'll tell her
You
that
just figure it out.
it didn't change anything.
She's just gonna like nod in understanding, and she is going to give you a back rub using her healing hands.
Oh,
And if you are down any hit points whatsoever, or if you have any conditions, if you have less than, if you can gain up to 65 hit points.
no, I'm full.
Okay,
I got
but
healed up.
she's still using her healing hands.
Love it. I'm into it.
So you update Sarah on what's going on. She'll tell you kind of her side of what was going on. Basically, between the God Butchers, the Rust Alley Whalers, and a bunch of other random factions from Langston that came out to tussle. Apparently, the Harbor Ghosts also had sabotaged a couple of the main flagships. There were a couple ships that completely were just sunk for pretty much like for no reason. Like no one knew exactly what happened, but apparently the Harbor Ghosts were claiming responsibility for it.
Mm-hmm.
There was one ship that was completely, something happened where there was like an infestation of just like vile spirits that just started possessing all of Elhorn's crew. And there was another ship that completely just exploded into a giant poison cloud that took out like the entire crew. So there's essentially just like a ghost ship that's like out in the middle the sea now.
Does she know who's, like, is there still a struggle for who's in charge of Langston? Or did Eskel swoop?
So as of now, Langston is basically in chaos.
Cool.
So there is no, like the Bone Hunters have kind of been relegated to just another faction.
Mm-hmm.
Still a powerful one, but right now it's kind of back to like street wars and street justice, where like people have kind of stopped paying protection fees to the Bone Hunters. The tincture factories have been raided by multiple other factions.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of them have basically been completely shut down because they've been completely like sacked and destroyed. Blood Gulch Meatworks is has changed ownership, so now it is under the control of the Rust Alley Whalers.
Mm.
That's what
Tincture isn't being created anymore?
The factory is in a temporary shutdown. What happens with it in the future is it's hard to say.
Yeah.
It is noted that the value of tincture has like quintupled overnight.
Wow. Any news on Elhorn sightings?
No.
Okay. Cool.
He's presumed. No one. Everyone assumes he's dead.
Okay.
Like he died in a pretty public way.
I did murder him. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, so like you telling Sarah that he's alive is news to her, and they're like the presumption is that he's dead.
Well, I'm glad she heard it from me and not later from someone else. Do people know that I killed him?
Yeah.
Or the remnants in general?
I mean, it was witnessed firsthand a bunch of his crew that ran away. So yeah.
Good.
With that she says, you know, you know this is your thing.
What do you mean?
Like, I don't want you to think that you're doing this for me.
I know.
You don't think that, right?
No.
Okay. Because the way I see it, as long as our family's safe, whether Elhorn lives or dies, I don't really care. Like what happened happened.
I know.
And I mean, someone like that is going to get what's coming to them, regardless if it's from you or someone else. So I want you to do whatever you have to do to close this chapter of your life. Um, but you know that it won't bring our son back. And I'm beginning to think that it might not bring my husband back. So I just want you to think about that. But otherwise, I support whatever you want to do.
Okay.
So, um, is there anything else that you want to do or discuss while you're in New Callum?
Maybe hang out with my daughter a bit.
Okay, yeah.
See how she's doing.
Yeah, you guys actually, she wants to know like battle stories.
I'll just tell her a bunch of battle stories.
Yeah, I mean, Sarah's gonna give you like the side eye on a lot of stuff about like, yeah, where's this gonna go?
Yeah.
Do you tell her about Elhorn and like?
I'll tell her the story about the dragon.
Okay.
I'll leave out the part where I died.
Okay.
I'll tell her about the witches, the fight with the witches that we had.
Okay.
That was a cool one. But I won't go into like super detail about the whole Elhorn thing. I don't know what Sarah's told her about Elhorn and her brother and all that, so I don't want to like cross any boundaries.
Yeah, I mean, you get the sense she hasn't said anything about it. So
Does she know that she had a brother?
she does.
Okay.
She doesn't know that he was murdered by a chain.
Yeah, that'd be, rough.
Yeah. Okay. So that Natasha gets super into these stories. Your mom kind of shares some from the battle too, and she just describes it as like going to like help people and like bad guys and just kind of like vague things like that. And Natasha is just like enthralled with these stories. Okay, so that you spend the night, everyone else gets a long rest. Um, as if no one has anything else before the night comes to a close, as morning comes.
Cass
Um,
just takes over the feedings of Valeska. he just lets Nick know, and whoever else will be on guard, that he'll be bringing her food and beverages and stuff. And he does that in the morning and evening.
Okay. If you do that in the evening, she does not partake at all.
Yeah, he goes in there. He doesn't say anything.
She's also completely restrained, so she couldn't, like, if she wanted to, you'd have to like try to feed her. But if you do, she doesn't partake. Okay. Morning comes. And what some of you might notice is shortly after Varric arrives with Autaluk, Sandara will arrive as well.
It's all in order. Intel?
He's no,
Okay.
just her. Sindara is just going to like walk as she approaches. Like the whole crew just kind of looks at her. She doesn't say a word, and she just walks into the captain's quarters.
Is he still in the captain's quarters?
I don't know. Are you?
Well, I mean, like how I kind of assumed we were all out gathered.
Okay. Yeah, she's gonna walk into the captain's quarters without, like, no one's in there. She's just gonna walk in.
She's gonna shut the door behind her?
Nope.
I will follow her into the captain's quarters.
Okay. As you try to go to walk in, she's now walking back out. And she's got a bottle of green bottle.
I put my hands on her shoulders.
She's gonna try to like move past you because she's got this look of like don't. As Jasmine might say it, don't F with me right now.
I'm gonna hug her anyways.
Okay.
And say I'm glad that you're back.
Okay.
And that we're all here for you. And I'm gonna let her go and not be in her way anymore.
Okay. Give me a persuasion check. You could have advantage on it.
Hey guys, I gotta go.
Okay.
I will see you guys later. If I get back in time, I'll jump back on. But yeah.
See you.
Right, see you later.
Yep. See you guys.
See ya. 16.
Okay. You hug her, and as you release and let her go, you see like a very like subtle tearing up that she kind of just blinks away. She is going to kind of walk over to the side of the ship. And as she does, you watch as she just like takes her hand, holds it over the cork, and then makes this like flicking motion, and the cork just flies out of this bottle. And with that, she just like walks over and like sits on the side railing of the ship, and then just like takes a swig out of the bottle, and then is just like waiting for someone to start the next day.
So everything went well, it seems.
She just goes, "Yep."
Right. So now that you're back, we can actually start moving the ship. Whenever you want to let Bev know, probably go to New Callum.
The ship just like lurches and begins moving.
Thank you. You're muted, James.
What are we going to New Callum for?
Well, it's safe, and
Good point.
Last I saw Dun Sparrow, she left you all to die.
Aren't we going to kill Elhar?
Yeah. That's the plan.
We are.
Gotta find him first. But you know.
I mean, we know where the bone hunters are, yeah? Why don't we just go there?
I think we're waiting for Faraday to deal with the clones. Right?
Well, since we all trust Faraday so much, he said he would do it, so, you know, what's the difference? We trusted him with the artifacts, why not trust him that he would take care of this?
It's been less than 12 hours, Sandara. And Solinor's alive. So let's
No,
remember
I'm
that.
just saying. I feel like he said he would do it, so surely it's done by now. It's been 12 hours, a little bit more. It's more than enough time for someone like that to take care of it, don't you think?
I mean, she's got a point.
Oh boy, alright.
Besides, let's say we go down there and we kill Elhorn and Faraday totally screwed us or, you know, didn't honor his word or anything like that. And then we just have to kill Horn again and again and again and again. I mean, is that the worst thing?
I mean,
Cass
it's not
isn't
the
touching
worst
this.
thing.
He's not touching this. Well, I would like, personally, now that we have no real enemies, no knives at our back.
I will also say another thing. He does not have an infinite amount of clones.
Yeah,
At
no.
some point, it just runs out.
You know, not to sound weak, but it was a traumatic experience. For me to kill that man, I'd like to do it as few times as possible.
Well, I could do it.
I know you could. You're very capable. Probably the most capable of all of us.
Capability. I'm just saying, you know, could just knock it out real quick and then go to New Callum after.
Just to interject and make a counterpoint to Cass's claim that we have no more enemies, actually discovered a little bit of information that may be pertinent to this decision of where and what to do next.
Cass's head
As you all
real low.
know, Thanya was once part of this group and became possessed by an Oni. As it turns out, she was working alongside a crew that was hired to take us out. I believe she was hired by Elhorn, but the crew that she was serving with was led by a man named Mujin. I've spoken to Alara about this, and I know that name doesn't mean anything to you, and it didn't mean anything to me up until I discovered some parts about my identity. You might have noticed I've been pretty vague about who I am and my story. Well, to kind of distill this information for you and give you the short version, I am King Chedam, the Hongul dynasty, and 15 years ago, I disappeared from my kingdom, which was overtaken by my nephew, Mujin. As it turns out, he is interested in killing me and presumably my crew as well. Gestures to you guys. So I wouldn't be so sure about making the assumption that we no longer have any enemies. In fact, we might have just made a new one. Sorry to dump all this on you. We've kind of got this important moment we're sharing.
We need to kill Thonya.
Okay, can we just pretend for like 3 weeks? Can we just pretend that we don't have any enemies, and we just? No. Okay.
Look, we've come this far. If this Mujin is here in Langston as well, or there in Langston as well. Perhaps we can take out all of our enemies at once.
Do
We
you
got
know
Faraday off our back, and perhaps we just wipe out Mujin and Elhorn and anyone in Elhorn's crew who's still loyal to Elhorn, any of the Oni that tried to stop us, and then we can have more than 3 weeks after that where we have no enemies.
Especially love a good old fashioned bloodbath. Yeah. Would hope that I could speak to Mujin, perhaps resolve this in a non-violent manner.
Of course, we always give him the chance to resolve with nonviolence, and then
I started
you know
smashing.
he starts smashing.
Sure. Um, Now, I think we need to make a decision of what to do with Thanya, who is currently on our ship down in the Briggs.
And is currently possessed by Noni.
She is currently possessed by, well, no, I wouldn't say possessed, but she definitely has a Tokebi spirit, an evil spirit attached to her. It seems that she is currently within her faculties, and I can't be sure of this, but I don't think she's possessed, as we've seen her in her possessed form is uh, physically gargantuan and terrifying, a terrifying sight to behold. So she's appears to be herself, but she's definitely has a spirit attached to her. I don't know how to resolve this. If there is a way we can somehow exorcise her from the spirit and spare her life. What do you all think?
Too much trouble.
I agree.
Just
So
kill.
who votes for kill? Smokey looks at Sandara.
Alara says, hold on, this used to be someone that was in your group. You escaped the Underhorde Reformatory with this person, and they have a disease, they have an illness, and your answer is just to kill them?
Can you cure it?
I think I can.
By all means. If you can, do it.
And if I can't, I think we should let her go.
So she can come back later and try to kill us again?
I don't think she would try to do that.
I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, most of our enemies have been quite persistent.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong, but perhaps if we gave Thanya the support she needed when she was going through this, when she was on our ship and she was better supervised, perhaps this never would have happened. So, in a lot of ways, I think you could make the argument that this is our fault.
I agree with Alara. I think we owe it to our ex-crew member to, at the very least, spare her life, and above that, to at least attempt to cure her and free her of this spirit. I think
Perfect.
between Alara and I, we can at least make an effort to do so.
If you can't cure her, and we let her go, when she comes back, you two deal with it.
You know, we
I
didn't go chasing after Kazakh. We didn't go running when Japheth had something wrong with him. Sure, she used to be part of our crew, but she's done nothing but be a pain or try to kill us since then. So, yeah, if you can't cure her, keel haul her. I don't really care.
Okay. It might take me some time to do this. So I would ask that I have at least until tomorrow.
Fine.
We can keep her in the brig until then. So, with that, Sonara just goes, so, New Callum or Langston?
I mean, we might as well get it over with.
Okay, but afterwards we're stopping. Afterwards we're stopping for a little bit.
Yeah. Fine.
Just relax before we... Alright, shit. I need to do more reading then. Cass goes to do more studying, moving up his
Cass.
timeline. What?
Hey.
Can you get in touch with Faraday?
I'd rather not, but I could.
Okay, I can do it. I mean, if we have the Palantir.
Yeah.
Sundar,
She just throws it to you.
I send a message to Faraday. Hey, it's Varric. Just wondering if those clones were taken care of. We're trying to kill Elhorn again. Thanks.
You hear a response. Ah, aren't we the busy ones? I didn't realize you were moving so fast. I'll have it taken care of within the next 20 minutes.
Oh my god. What?
Holy shit. I don't respond. I assume he doesn't need one. The clones will be taken care of before we get there. He literally
Sundar,
said 20 minutes.
yeah. Sundara just like gives you a side eye for just a second and then like looks back at her drink.
I hand her the Palantir.
She puts it in the bag.
How much does she drink?
She's gone through like half the bottle.
I look at Cass. I give him the look.
Well, I'm gonna go read my book.
Cool. Great.
No backup.
He's not touching that. You know what? He will go feed or attempt to give Valeska some food and wine before he leaves. Smoogie, Varric. Hopefully not you, Sundara. Whoever has the violet tincture, do you think I could have it?
Is it the soul tincture you're referring to?
Yeah.
I think Sundara would have it.
I thought I had it, maybe.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, I thought Smoogie had the vial.
I just know it's not in the hole.
If I have it, which I'm pretty sure I do, maybe we'll hand it over to you.
Thanks, King Moogs. I think I can get some more. And he'll go off and get a very mouth-watering meal and some wine at the kitchen and go down to Valeska.
Sundara.
Yeah.
Have you had anything to eat recently?
Yep.
You just seem to be drinking a lot, so usually it's a little easier with some meat in your stomach.
That's true.
Take it from an old alcoholic.
Yeah, I mean, coming from you, right? No, I mean, I think, if you were allowed to do this for, years, then I think I've earned myself one day. Don't you think?
No, I'm not. Believe me. If ever there was a day.
Besides, we're killing Elhorn today. Don't you have some preparations to be doing instead of talking to me about your concern of how much I'm drinking?
You're right. Silly me.
Okay, well, we better prepare then.
Um, is Autoluke on the deck?
Autoluke is on deck.
I just make eye contact with Autoluke as I'm walking towards to go downstairs to my room. And make direct eye contact with Autoluke, and then like a quick side eye to Sandara, hoping that he understands. Like, make sure she doesn't fall off the fucking boat or something.
Okay.
Smart idea,
I-
leaving him in
I-
charge.
Well, I think he's socially conscious enough to make sure she doesn't kill herself. So.
So, with that, you watch as Autoluke kind of walks over. He just goes, Sundara, I too have once fallen in love with a mentor of mine.
Not what I meant.
It was passionate, sweaty, lots of teeth,
What?
sort of a lot of bone on bone sort of action.
So gross.
It can be as titillating as it can be. It can take a toll on one's psyche. Love is perhaps the strangest of all magics. And with that, she just goes, please go away, Autoluke. And with that, he goes, yep, of course. And he just walks away. And he looks at you, Varric, and just gives you like this look of like, okay. With that, is anyone else prepping? As Sandara is driving guys straight into the belly of the beast right now.
Can we retroactively ask Leopold a couple more questions?
You can ask him now.
Or I just ask him now. So please have find Leopold and ask him more questions about the Hongul dynasty. Specifically, if he knew of any like allies or right hand man types that associated with King Shadong.
He is going to look through. And he will say there was. He's like, I don't know if you would call him a right hand man, but there was the king's brother, who was a general in his army, who was King Togul. It's Jug and Eum. That would have been Mujin's father. By all accounts, there was no bad faith with any of the family. In fact, they seem like they were a pretty tight-knit group. There were some reports of friction between their houses and other gnome houses. The previous Hongul dynasties got kind of a history of being inventors and pioneers in both the arcane arts as well as in technology. Yet the House of the Black Sky seemed to be a little bit more. I think there's some accounts of other houses claiming that they were warmongering and trying to change their ways in that sense. But I think that never really worked out well for anybody.
Do you know if there's any reason why King Chokum didn't succeed Chedong after his death?
Yeah, not exactly sure. Because you're right. It should have been Chokum to take over. Now, to be fair, I don't think anyone has actually announced themselves as king. It's a kind of a strange situation where they're sort of just leading by council at this point, because the king has never been officially announced as being dead.
I see. What was the last recorded history of King Chokum?
Well, King Chokum's not a king.
Oh, he's not.
No. He was a general.
General.
I mean, the last recorded history, I'd have to look through it, and he kind of like grabs his books and kind of looks through, and he says, there was a battle at the Eye of Karsus with a bunch of the barbarian clans that tried to unite against the Hangul dynasty, and in that time, Chokum led the army and just decimated and laid waste to all of the barbarian clans. That would have been actually around the time of Chedong's disappearance.
Let's see. Is there any recorded history on Oni within the Hangul dynasty or kingdom?
Well, what we all call Oni, the Hangul call Dokebi.
Right. Of course.
There are rumors that the House of the Black Sky dabbled in dealings with the Dokebi. And there are some allegations that that is where they drew their power from. Although these have never been proven. And people that say that sort of thing in the dynasty might vanish.
Let's see. Is there any known way to rid the spirits from someone who's been affected or attached to by a Dokebi?
There are ways, and it depends on how long the spirit has been attached. But really, what you generally need is a good cleric. I mean, I remember back in the heyday, there was a famous warrior cleric. This was 200 years ago. This is unrelated to any of that stuff. But it kind of spawned a popular saying because there was this warrior cleric who, he went by the name of Jesus. And then there's the saying where when you were in a situation like this, people would be like, y'all motherfuckers need Jesus. So this is sort of a y'all motherfuckers need Jesus kind of situation.
I see.
So I'd recommend a cleric and a good one. Who's possessed by an Oni, by the way?
We have an old crew member down in the Briggs. We recovered after our battle. She was fighting against us, but she seems fairly docile now. And as I mentioned, we stored her in the Briggs, so we're going to attempt to free her.
Yeah, that's cool. Can I watch?
Sure. Yeah, I would maybe just keep a distance. Yeah, I don't see why not. For research, yeah.
Yeah, for documentation.
Great. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe I'll draw it too.
Yeah.
Sounds sick.
Like sometime tomorrow.
Cool.
We're gonna channel the power of Jesus up in his house.
Let's do it.
Do it. Okay, very good. Simogi gives a deep bow and then just walks away.
Okay. Great. Okay. With that, you are getting closer. There's probably about an hour before you make it to Langston. As you approach, you can already see the city in the distance, and it is like up in smoke right now. There is just like absolute chaos everywhere.
So
Which city is this?
Langston.
Cassius gets a very. He has not brought Vale food this morning. He gets some very delicious looking breakfast and a large glass of wine that he drinks half of.
Wine for breakfast.
Yep. And then pours the vial of tincture into the rest of it. And swirls it, stirs it with his finger a little bit. And takes it down to Valeska.
After you stir it, do you lick your finger?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's not, yeah. Not worried.
Give me a little wisdom saving throw.
Already? Okay. Fail. 4.
You get the faintest like flash of now was this tincture or was this spark? Do we know?
I think I've always had it labeled as a vial of tincture.
Okay. So what you see is this like very vivid memory of being an orphan, being one of the rope slingers, and protesting against the FETC. There's this like very surreal feeling of like oneness and being a part of something bigger than yourself, and this feeling that like you can change the lives of not just yourself, your brother, and your 2 sisters, but also the lives of like this whole city. Then there's a flash of you holding a Kalimov cocktail in your hand, like throwing it at the FETC barracks. Then you see your home being burned down. You watch as your family is rounded up, and then there's just like a blackness as there is a blindfold around your eyes, and then a crack of gunfire, and then complete blackness, all in like a single moment as you just lick your finger of the tincture.
He shakes himself out of the memory. Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
Well, and that memory is in you now. Like, that's just your memory now.
Yeah. He nestles it right next to the halfling farmer.
Okay.
And if Nick's down there, he is Nick standing guard, or is it Buck? He walks up.
He looks like he has not slept in a full day.
Oh, Nick, I told you to switch off with someone. Go up and get some rest.
You can't trust everybody these days. And if the way I see it, Captain, you gave me this task, and if I delegate it to someone else and they fuck up, then that's on me. You know what I mean? You gave me a job, and I'm going to see it through.
I agree. Good idea to not trust anybody but yourself. But right now, as your captain, I'm telling you, go get some rest. You'll do a better job well slept.
Okay, I mean, I could do this for way longer.
I believe it.
Okay, as long as you know that, I just want you to know. Okay.
I'll watch her for
well,
the next while. She'll be safe.
he looks over at her and he just goes, "Oh, good night, I guess," and then walks out.
Oh.
And as he walks out, like as he goes to walk out, he stops and just like looks at you, like embarrassed, and he just kind of goes to the bars and like reaches ahead and just goes, "And thanks for being such a good listener." And he leaves.
I wait for him to leave before saying anything.
He's not.
Okay, I walk in. Is this just like a jail cell with like bars separating the room
Yeah.
she's in and then the hallway?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Cass sets the food and the drink down. Well, we're going back into Langston, so I figured I should update you on some stuff, and you really need to eat. I could let you go from that contraption, or I could feed you myself. It's your choice.
There's no response.
Now, the ship is warded from communication and teleportation, right? Except for on the sigil. Like, cause
It's not warded from communication. It's warded from teleportation.
okay. Right. Well, let me extend a bit of trust, and I'll cast Dispel Magic at 5th level on the bands.
Okay. As you do, she falls to the ground. She's not moving.
Can I see if she's breathing?
You look, and it doesn't look like it.
I'll try to cast Detect Thoughts on her to see if she is a living being or not.
She is unconscious and actively dying right now.
Oh, God damn it. Cass's face will grow gaunt and lethargic, and she'll heal 48 points.
Okay. That you hear her just like start coughing, and then just like a huge amount of blood is coming out of her mouth.
Okay. What's going on? Trying to kill yourself?
This long sigh, she like turns her eye over towards you, and then just like rests her head in a puddle of blood.
You know, Cass pulls the portable hole out from his side and unfolds it next to him. This makes me feel a little bit guilty, and he starts mage hand outing some components. A fancy looking box, and a statue of himself, and one of Dunsparrow's books that flips open to a certain page. I really didn't want you to die in here. Sorry to have brought you back if you were trying to slip away. but we're going back into Langston. And you would be very helpful there, I think. Besides, Elhorn's not an enemy of ours anymore. Not really. He's weak. We're gonna kill him again. Faraday's off our back. And he conjures some chalk in his hand. Then begins writing some sigils. 6 glyphs around him, like in a half circle.
What components are you using?
Chalk isn't necessary. It's just for flavor. The
Yeah, I'm just
components,
asking what all the components of this
fan-
flavor.
fancy box. All I need is the fancy box.
Okay. And then what other components are you using, like, regardless of what, like, narrative or otherwise?
Chalk.
Okay, gotcha.
And also, I guess for flavor, though he doesn't need it, he's reading and copying a spell from one of the books.
Okay.
As he finishes the first glyph to his left, he like punctuates it and each glyph with a Sylvan word. If anyone could understand it, a Sylvan word of binding.
Mm-hmm.
And he says, for the first time, really, Valeska, for the first time in a long time, there's nobody really trying to kill us right now. You're kind of the only loose thread. It just makes everything tidy. And he finishes the second glyph. And he's going to unsettling words her.
Okay, that's a wisdom.
That's just a D10. So her next save, she rolls a D10, subtracts it.
Subtract it. Okay.
And for the next 40 or so seconds, he back against a wall, facing the bars, draws out these sigils. And casts Magic Jar.
So how close are you to the bars?
Like back against the far wall. I was imagining like it's a hallway.
A lot.
Yeah. He's not getting within grabbing distance of her.
Okay. As you are casting the spell, there's this sudden like burst of vitality in her as she was just kind of like leaning back up against the wall, just like blood still kind of like coming out of her mouth. He rushes over to the iron bands of Bolaro and like snaps this like metal piece off of it and rushes at you and goes to like throw this like jagged metal piece at you like it's a javelin.
Yeah, that's the thing that I forgot to say.
Does a 19 hit your armor class?
It would, but shield.
Okay. So he just like chucks this like just jagged piece of brass at you, and it was going to hit you like right in the throat. And as you're kind of working on the spell, you shield it away, and it just like shatters right in front of you. And with that, she's just like panting at the bars, like holding it as she's thrown it. And then she just like, with her elbow, just like gives one slam against the bars, then like pushes away, and then backs up, and then just like sits with her back up against the wall, just like looking at you vindictively. As you see the blood coming out of her mouth, you realize that she had basically overnight like chewed her tongue off.
This is going to be interesting. Okay. If nothing else happens, he finishes the sixth symbol to the far right of him, punctuates it with a word of binding, and then quickly makes a seventh sigil with a word of release. And am I okay to describe what happens here?
Yeah.
As the spell completes?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Cass's body falls limp and slumps against the wall as a like luminescent silver thread sort of extends out of his chest into nothingness, and his body falls over to the floor, and that thread gets sucked up into the magic box, and the lid slams shut. And nothing happens for a beat or two, and then it flies open, and a like hand outstretched, silent scream version of Cass flies through the air into Valeska, and she needs to make a charisma saving throw.
Without the D10, it's a fail.
He reaches in, grasps her soul by the throat, and pulls her out as he pulls himself in, and she's shunted into the box. The lid slams closed, and she is in there.
Okay.
I gain her hit dice, her hit points, and her physical stats, and whatever senses she has.
Okay. So your new dexterity is 5. Your
Excuse me?
Your constitution is sorry, your dexterity is 20, your constitution is 16, your strength is negative. Or sorry, your strength is 8.
Strength 8, dex 20, constitution
On 3.
16.
16, yeah.
Okay. So
And then you gain her senses.
yeah, if she has like blind sense, true sense, whatever, if she has any special vision.
She has dark vision. I think you would also get her traits as like a drow.
What it says is the physical stats, the hit dice, her hit points, and whatever senses she has.
Okay. Yeah. Just 60 feet of dark vision.
Okay.
What was the hit points?
Her hit points are 173 max.
Damn.
Oh, that is a benefit.
Get her hit points?
I do. And her hit dice, but unless she has anything else besides rogue, it's the same as mine.
I mean, but she's a higher level.
I assumed it meant just like the D8 or D10 or whatever.
Okay. But that's weird because it gives you her hit points.
Yeah.
But not the number of hit dice?
I mean, it says hit dice, so I mean, I guess I would.
To me, that implies you get all of them.
I would have more of them. I don't.
Yeah, so you get 17 d8s.
Okay. We don't really take short rests, so that's not too big of a deal.
I mean, but there are many things that use hit dice as a resource, or attack hit dice as well.
Oh, I gain her speed as well.
Her speed is 35 feet. Why is it 35 feet?
Okay.
Now you have more hit points than I do.
Yeah, that's a huge boost of hit points.
Yeah.
You also cannot speak.
Yeah. Yeah. This will be fun.
Which is so interesting.
Yeah.
I did not plan that. I did not realize that interaction. Okay. So you are trapped behind the bars
Mm-hmm.
as yourself. Now, I'll be honest. I also think this kind of screws you as far as verbal components for spells.
It does. I think I can. Limbs can be regenerated.
Yeah. I mean, with something like that, you could be okay, but for
Is
now,
your
you
tongue a limb? I don't know if that counts.
Maybe it's a generous interpretation, but I would beg for it.
no. I mean, if a regenerate spell would absolutely fix this, but short of that, like in the short term, you're kind of gimped here.
Yeah. For now, Vale looks out at her. Is she like actively? Am I actively bleeding or taking damage or anything?
You're not actively taking damage.
Okay.
Narratively, we'll say that you are bleeding.
Okay.
Was there a commotion?
I'd say yeah.
Because at this time I was coming down the stairs to go to my room.
Oh no, we can't come out. Oh, we're already doing this. Oh no.
Okay, make a perception check.
Love it. I'm gonna ruin your day with a 22, baby.
You hear a commotion coming from the brig.
Did I see what's his face leaving that area?
With that check, yeah.
Okay. And I didn't see anyone go in that direction, so I'll go
Nope.
check it out.
You go and check it out.
What do I see when I get there?
You see two cell blocks, both covered in blood.
Cool.
But one was always covered in blood.
Yeah, I remember that. I'm not worried about her. I'm worried about a dead-looking, Fierce or Cass.
Cass's body is dead.
It's catatonic. It is a body without a soul.
So you see Cass is dead. And
I don't see any of the soul stuff happening.
Nope.
I wasn't fast enough for that. Cool.
There's there is a book in front of him, a ritual book. There is a ritual circle around him, and a very fancy magic box next to him that has glass walls you can see inside of it.
Okay, so she broke a piece off the bands. Are they still usable?
They don't look like it.
Cool. That goes my first plan.
Vale's arms are just up in the air.
Putting the pieces together here.
With this, you see, you hear just like this
There's gonna be something.
pitter patter of footsteps.
Go away.
The footsteps go away.
Awesome.
Nice.
Okay.
Okay.
I open the cell.
Okay.
And I say, Vale.
She backs up.
Are you Cass?
You hear in your head, as she is very obviously casting a spell without verbal components. Yeah, I'm Cass.
Prove it. Something only Cass would know.
She
That
casts
I also know.
She casts a spell again. Oh God, I knew this was gonna happen, just not right now.
Do I hear that?
Yes.
Okay, alright, it's cast. So I pick
Okay.
up the book. Do I understand the words? Do I understand? I mean, I'm not magic, but like, can I get the gist?
Sorry. What's in this book?
I don't know.
Oh,
This is a book, and this is some kind of ritual about um, soul transfers. I would say, if I can say, part of it is written in common, but
I was about to say, it's in common.
the important fun parts are written in Sylvan.
Cool, but I get enough of the comment. I know what this spell is.
Make an Arcana check at disadvantage.
Okay. That's not great. 5.
Some magic shit.
Cool. But I know Pierce does, or Kaz does magic shit. So I'm not too worried about it.
Yeah.
There's a message in your head. The bitch bit out her own tongue. I think she ate it.
Oh. Varric laughs out loud for too long. And then picks up your body, Cass body. I'm just gonna put it in your room.
If you could actually just lower him down into the hole, that would be great. With the box. Well, I can help you with the box.
Wait a minute. Is there oxygen in the hole?
I don't think the body needs it.
Well, are you gonna go back into it?
That's the plan.
Then it needs it. You can't go back into a dead body.
Do I, DM, do I
Did
know
you
how the specifics of this work?
even think this through?
I
Like you
did.
Oh
Kelly said
well.
that.
So my body is catatonic, but it still needs the requirements of a living body. So does someone need to feed and water it?
You don't know.
Shit.
Didn't do enough research. Let's get the IV going, guys.
Well, you know what? Let's just not die. Throw him in the hole.
I will not do that.
Eric, throw my fucking body in the hole, or I will
Fine.
make you do
Drop
it.
it.
Thank you.
Make me do it?
Yes. Be very easy. It's not. Come on.
I drop it in the hole. Unceremoniously.
Yeah. Vale doesn't take any care. She gently lowers mage hands, or I can't mage hand. Gently lowers the box down.
Box. I pick up the little doll statue thing.
Oh,
What's this?
I need that.
Give it to him.
You.
Her. Give it to.
All right.
What pronouns should we use? They?
Her is fine. They
Her,
is probably more appropriate.
Okay. So we should go up together. That way nobody murders you. Also, without a tongue, are you going to be able to fight? You know, Elhorn?
Well, it'll be interesting since Sandara is so bloodthirsty right now. I'm sure I'll
Yeah, why not?
manage.
Okay. So I lead Vale up to the deck.
Another message in your head. You explain it all, please.
I explain everything, and then I end with she bit her own tongue off last night, so she can't talk.
Sidar's like, should we take Cass's body out of the hole?
That was my idea. I said, don't you think it'll die in that?
Doesn't it need
And
air
you're
and
like,
stuff?
exactly what I said.
Look, I don't know.
Well, if you don't know, why would you put the body in the one place that doesn't have air?
Because
Take
I
it out.
need
Take it out. Take it out. Take it out. Take it out.
I
Vedic, take the body out.
I reach in and grab it out. I say we just throw it in the captain's quarters and leave it there.
Ew, you could like sleep with yourself.
Oh, gross.
That's not.
So weird, Cass.
Listen,
Yeah.
I kind of need it by me at all times. If it does need air and I die, well, fuck, I'm dead. If it...
I mean, maybe.
Then what's the whole point?
What if we shrink it?
What?
What if we shrank it? It's a great idea.
How small can you get him?
Like Samugi size?
Oh, that's too big.
Just put him in the stack pack. Jinx.
Could make it. Could have a cast pack,
Yeah.
Oh boy,
or maybe you
that's
make
just
like
weird.
a double and with stack pack.
Can I fit into the bag of holding?
Yeah.
Smoothie. So, who has a bag of holding?
Cass.
No,
I'd have one. I have
Cass
one.
is-
Sarah has one.
I have a hole.
Smoothie asked for demonstrative purposes. Asks Stack for his bag of holding.
Okay,
And-
give it to...
Opens it up and steps inside and just goes.
Well, but also there's no air in the bag of holding,
Yeah.
so it's kind of the same. At this point, Alara comes up and just goes, "Oh God!" So you catch her up to speed.
Yeah.
So I actually genuinely don't know how does the spell work.
It just says they go into a catatonic state, but like
So they're alive.
my reasoning is if
You're
they're
in a
alive,
coma.
if they're alive, this spell is useless because they have to be fed and watered. So it's like
It
okay,
depends.
3 days.
So here's what we're gonna say. So
Oh,
with this, Autoluke
they can be
is going to like come down here and also help out because this is actually more his kind of speed. So once he finds out, he goes, "Oh, Cass went into the body of that wretched woman. That's
Yeah, pretty much.
hilarious.
I laughed for like a full minute.
And she bit out her tongue. That's super hardcore."
It's only appropriate.
I'm glad the spell didn't fail because I feel like she would have just fucked you up.
What do we do?
So Cass's body, yes, it does in theory need to be fed and watered. But you have a cleric that can help you get around that sort of thing. This is where I will pass it on to my colleague, Alara. And she just like looks at him and just goes, "What?"
You can
Surely you have some spells to sort of prolong the life of someone that is near dead.
Oh.
Also,
Then-
perhaps we can do something about that tongue business. Because when it comes to spellcasting, it is the most important extremity.
a voice in
Yeah.
Reyna's head or Alara's head. Yes, please, the tongue, if you could, is a problem.
With this, Alara just kind of sighs. You watch as she like reaches into her pouch and just like does this like card flicker with like a bunch of these tarot cards and just like very rapidly like shuffles a couple in her hands, and then like flips one and places it down on Cass's body as she casts a gentle repose. So that is going to prolong your out of body time. You are, however, a passenger, and your airfare is limited. It's like there's only so long that you can be like in space. Your body will slowly deteriorate the longer that you're out.
Take it from me.
So you can have Alara like pinned to it.
Okay.
But yeah, keeping it in a portable hold or something like that With the gentle repose spell is possible, but it is going to rapidly accelerate uh, the time that like the body's going to start to break down.
Okay. If there's a schedule, if there's some kind of regimented schedule we can have and figure out later, we'll probably try to do that when Eddie's here.
Yeah. Okay.
But for now,
yeah, Alara's going to work on something more creative. She's also going to spend an hour regenerating.
Oh, perfect. She can just do that right up. Oh yeah.
Well, she would have had to have changed spells. So we'll say it's going to be more like 5 hours of her like changing spells to get to the point where you can regenerate your tongue.
I'll put the body in the captain's quarters. Because I don't want to just on the deck.
Okay.
It's gross.
I guess before or after the regeneration, I am going to take all my belongings off Cass, get my shift weave, all my stuff.
Okay.
My belongings as they were.
Now, I think you lose your changeling abilities.
It says I keep all. You could go either way with this. It's up to you, because it says that you keep all your other abilities, but it doesn't really make sense to me, or to be able to shape change.
Yeah. So I'm gonna say,
I'm
gonna make a ruling on this because you're no longer a changeling.
Yeah.
What are you now?
A drow, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't even know what that means.
So sorry, you have 120 feet of dark vision.
Okay.
Mazers.
You gain access to drow magic, which is the dancing lights cantrip. You can do fairy fire once, and you can cast darkness once.
Okay.
All with charisma.
Okay.
You would have sunlight sensitivity, but Valeska's been out in the sun for long enough that she's adapted.
Okay, that would be terrible.
Yeah. So, with that, let's see. Yeah, that's that. So you just leave Cass in the captain's quarters.
For now, I'm putting him in the hole. I don't care what I'll sneak and do it. I don't care what everybody says. Putting him in the hole. Gentle repose. I'll get it re-upped every 10 days.
Well, it's going to need to do it way more than 10 days. If Cass is in the hole.
I need the body next to me, otherwise this is all irrelevant. This spell is like
how close do you need?
100 feet.
So this is getting really intense. But we'll say between Audeluk, Sandara, and Samugi, they can kind of discuss an apparatus for basically putting Cass on like life support. So basically a way to like generate like a steampunk like mask to like pump air from the outside into the portable hole. And that can be worked on.
Okay, so he'll remain out for now until he turns into some experiment.
We're gonna iron lung this guy?
So yeah, so the plan is to basically put Cass on life support and put it in the portable hole. So Samugi's gonna be recruited to like help make like a steampunk like non-rebreather.
Okay. Do we have time to do this before getting to Langston?
I mean, you guys can. There's no time frame. Like you can
Okay.
stop the ship here, and
Okay.
this does take precedent. So Sandar is absolutely going to stop the ship.
Okay, Smoothie's gonna go to his workshop area, wherever that is.
Yeah, just give me an anchoring check for this. You can give it with advantage because Sandar is going to help.
This is crazy.
Proficiency +1.
Yeah. Do you guys have any tincture, by the way?
This Grix. Well, I think I
Not
used all of
anymore.
it.
Okay.
We have tincture mixed with wine.
Yeah.
Good natty.
Okay. Um. Um. Yeah. So you can make this device for sure. You can also.
Did you say natty?
Oh,
Yep.
Nice.
So you can make this device, and Samugi is actually going to jury rig it and power it with a little bit of tincture that's mixed with the wine. So there's like this liquid arcane battery that's like powered by like this like dirty tincture. Um, that'll last however long it lasts. While you're on the ship, you can change the power source to the ship itself. But yeah, you got like a little tincture battery pack that's like clipped on to the pouch, and there's basically like this little tube that's going to be coming out of the little like blanket that makes the portable hole, and like is basically like stitched onto the outside of it.
So,
okay.
just from
My
my
oxygen
understanding,
tank.
if Vale dies and then Cass gets recast, we have to get him out of the hole? Or
In
can he
theory,
get
no.
You can
I
break
don't
out.
know.
You can break out of the hole. It's relatively easy to break out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just making sure we don't have to like stop what we're doing. And
No, it's like a strength 10 check.
Okay. Okay.
Cool.
If we can get that done today, that is wonderful.
Yeah. Get
It's
all that
done.
done. We're getting towards like the late afternoon. You are within range of Langston.
Fucking
Gara's
good.
ready to go. Is everyone else ready?
I'm amped.
Yep, I'm testing out my new tongue. I'm saying tongue twisters to try to get it ready for
Yeah, you're fine.
verbal
Working.
components.
Well, give us a
Okay.
tongue twister.
Yeah, red leather, yellow leather, red leather, yellow leather.
With that, you watch as Sadara like walks over to the very front of the ship, like the dragon head that comes off the front. And she's just like leaning forward, and you watch as it almost looks like she's riding the ship as a skateboard, as like the ship just like drops like this and begins going into a steep dive towards what looks like the center of the docks where Elhorn's ships are. And she's just going into a hard dive, and she just like tells everyone it might be a good idea to hang on to something. Autoluke is going to kind of like pull his wizard robes up and just up to the knees and kind of like hobble over to the middle of the ship, and then he's gonna like grab his chest and like pull lightning off of his chest and then like pound it into himself again. And as the ship drops, he casts a fly spell, so he just like stays in the same spot. With that, I need everyone to make a strength saving throw.
No, yeah. Whoa.
Alright. 16.
25.
13.
And you can use your wisdom instead of strength.
Even worse.
All right. So with that, you watch as Sandara straight up takes the ship and nosedives it and lands on top of two other ships that are on the dock.
Nice, dude.
Fuck yeah.
So she just completely crushes two ships. And then you hear this creaking as then your ship just begins to move, like towing those ships with it, and just like creating this pile up of like ships in a row as she's like plowing through them.
Can I run to the front of the ship to our lancer?
Mhm.
And I've never used it before. Can I try to figure out how to fire it?
Yeah, you can fire it. Yeah, there's controls on it, and it's pretty intuitive. So go ahead and make an Arcana check.
Alright, natural 17, 20.
Okay. With that, Sundar grabs you and like pulls you under as you take cover because this is like a point blank thing. You fire the lancer and there's just like this shrapnel of wood.
Is that enough blood for you, Sandora?
Smoothie, you take 6 bludgeoning damage from failing the check.
Uh-oh, Mama's home.
The kids are in trouble.
Mm. Did you ever get in trouble when your friends were over?
Yeah. Yeah. It's embarrassing.
So embarrassing.
Okay. So we're in the middle of this. So with that, let me get some perception checks.
Got it.
Oh my god. It's 3
Natural
17s in a row.
Okay. Samugi, you would see on one of the ships, you would see the face of Elhorn like peeking above the crew, locking eyes with you, and then turning away to like hide.
Unnatural 20.
It also looks like in this, you would see him too. In this form, Elhorn looks a little rough. Like he's actually wearing an eye patch now, and he looks like a lot thicker than he previously was, and his scales look almost like kind of gray, and there's almost like a jaundice to his eyes.
Hello! And I start running towards him.
Oh shit.
Okay, yeah. Do you guys follow?
Yeah. I take off after Varric.
Wait, are we using the stack pack for? We're not using the stack pack for.
I think
I'm
they're
not.
Oh god.
There's no time for stack pack. Sorry, dude. If you weren't already in it, you gotta catch up.
How far away is Elhorn?
Not far enough.
Well, I want to help Varric do something awesome.
he's out of sight, right? But he's like maybe about like 100 feet away. You got to like run across a bunch of ships that are piled up to get there.
Doing it. What do I need to do?
I rolled a 24 for my perception check, so I saw
you know
where
where
it
it
was as well. As Varric screams, I would like to run up next to him and cast Dimension Door,
Okay.
grabbing him. Say, come on, buddy, let's get this over with quick. I'm going to teleport 20, 15 feet above Elhorn, where I saw him last.
Yeah, okay. You can do that. All right. And then Varric.
I'm going.
Okay.
And when we come out of the dimension door, it's
Like a plunging.
trident down, dude. I'm going for murder.
Okay. Okay. Go ahead and make an attack roll.
Nice.
He's like a week old. Man.
18.
18. So as Elhorn is like running and turning like with his hand up, you come down with a trident, and there is this like puff of black smoke, and you stab down into complete darkness. And you feel like you've struck something. And as you
cast darkness?
No, he didn't, because it's just like this tiny spot where like his form just kind of like shimmered in darkness. It didn't like go all around you. As that smoke kind of apparates, it apparates into what looks like a small Hangul gnome that is just like holding like these armored bracers where he's caught the trident in between his arms, like in all 3 ports. And then he just like turns his wrist to the side, grabs your trident, and gently pushes it back to you. As he does that, you watch as 2 other Hangul gnomes that are dressed in like complete black armor begin to step aside, and you see Elhorn has been like teleported off to just kind of the side, and he just kind of like rushes behind them.
My quarrel's not with you. That man killed my son.
You watch as two of them look at one to the side. And Samu, are you here at this time?
Yeah.
At this point, you watch as they ignore what you say, Varric, and the one on the far right just looks over towards Samugi, just goes, "Ah, uncle," and gives like a very deep bow.
Samugi responds, Mujin, I presume. And he gives a deep bow, but a little less deep than the bow
Yeah.
that he gave him.
He just goes, and at this point you watch as there are over the sides a bunch of oni that are beginning to like slowly peek out from like other shit. And at this point, what she just goes, "I'm glad you have not forgotten everything in exile, uncle." And he snaps his fingers and holds out his hand, and you watch as this fourth gnome, who looks like he's more dressed in like kind of a classic like hanbok. So this is more like he's got like this kind of like tall, like almost like a top hat. He looks like an advisor, like a diplomat, and wearing like these kind of white and black robes. He just comes out with this like little chest, and he like bows and hands it to Mujin, and he just like takes it, and he begins walking towards Samugi.
Okay, is someone in between me and Elhorn anymore?
Two of these gnomes.
I'll wait for whatever this fucking shit is.
So with that, you watch as Mujin looks over at you and takes the chest and then does a very deep bow and holds it up to you and just says, "I'm happy that you made it home, my king."
Samugi takes the chest.
Okay.
Is it something I can hold, or
You can open it.
Okay, and he opens it.
There is this black, like king's crown, like one of the like the Korean kings would wear.
Yeah. Smoogie lays eyes on it, and then closes the chest and look towards Jin.
He looks up at you, confused.
And he asks, "Why have you come after us? I spoke with Vanya."
He just looks at you curiously and says, "Because it is time. Our people need our king back. You have spent enough time in exile, uncle."
What happened to, what's his name? Chogum. Where's your father?
He is back in the dynasty. He sent me to find you.
Then why was Thanya trying to attack us?
To bring you back.
Well, Jin, these are family matters, and I would have preferred that we would have had a word together before resorting to violence and attacking.
He looks like a little bit confused. Looks back at the other homes and says, "I'm sorry, uncle," and gives like an even deeper bow. His face is on the floor.
Who does he identify spells? Or who has that ability?
I have.
Both of us.
Yeah.
Both of you? Okay. Being that the stack looks probably a little bit physically intimidating right now, Smoogie motions for a cast to come up, and he, in his head, Vale. Well, Vale can do it too?
Yeah, but she's also not exactly pleasing looking. Right
Okay.
now, if you're going for diplomacy.
Yeah. Okay, well, either way, Smoothie's going to use Word of the Spirit, and asks Vale to identify the item inside the box and any like qualities or characteristics it might have, or can you identify if it's like cursed?
Depending on the curse, if it's strong enough, no. But he whips out a little spyglass and
You walk over to Mujin, closes the box, and backs up and says, "This is for the king, and the king only."
oh yeah, I mean, it's all King Smoog's. You know, he just asked me
You
to
watch
look at it.
it kind of begins to twitch and like almost like shake a little bit, and all the other gnomes, their heads kind of twitch and shake, and their eyes begin to kind of glow red, and then you see this like very extended smile come like creep over his face, and you watch as his teeth almost become like sharpened, and he looks at you and just says, "So it is true. The man has really subdued the beast. We all thought it was not possible." Um,
My liege.
Samugi does a. Actually, let's make this a. There's going to be a contested grappling check here, as he is going to attempt to forcibly place this crown on your head. So you watch as, with this like puff of smoke, this gnome reaches out and grabs Samugi by the collar, pulls him in, like almost off of his feet, and then tries to just jam this crown on his head. So you can give me acrobatics.
24.
We tied, so I need you to roll again.
14.
Okay, 17.
Damn it.
So with that, you watch as Samugi's pulled forward and the crown is placed on his head. As soon as that happens, you watch as Samugi's eyes glow red, and there is this black smoke that begins to exude from under his robes and apparates into black armor. And for a second, you get a glimpse of what the King of the Black Sky may have looked like. As I have linked the picture of what you see before you in the chat.
Whoa. Cray, dude.
So with that, Samugi kind of like his form kind of goes lax, and you see that Mujin just smiles and turns to the rest of you. And that is where we are going to end our session.
No.
After this, though, after this,
They got
it's
me.
peace.
They got
It's fun. It's nice.
Well,